What it do, everybody? It's me, Michael. Hello, hello. And Karma. Don't forget about Tarzan. Welcome to episode 2 of Makeup and Mythology. Oh, God. So today we're going to be talking about the monkey god, Hanuman. Let's start off with his parents. We have a monkey couple. His mom, named Anjana, and his dad, named Kasari. Kasari was born a monkey man. Anjana, however, was not born a monkey woman. She was considered to be a celestial woman. Now, that doesn't really mean that she came from, like, outer space, like stars and moons and stuff like that, but it just means that she came from outside of the monkey village. I'm not exactly sure what she did, but she was turned into a monkey woman via a curse. So she prayed and she prayed and she prayed to get this curse reversed somehow, right? Because although Kasari was born a monkey man and they fell in love and stuff like that, Anjana wasn't born a monkey woman, so she wants to go back to her original form. So she prayed and she prayed and she prayed. After many, many moons and probably years of praying, she finally got an answer from Vishnu, or Ram. And the deal was, if she were to give birth to a reincarnation, or incarnation, whichever word is correct, of Lord Shiva, then your curse will be reversed. Luckily for Miss Anjana, in a nearby kingdom, King Dasharatha was performing a sacrificial ritual called a yagna. Now, hold your horses. Just because the word sacrificial is in there doesn't mean they went, killing babies or something. They could have just sacrificed, money or a way of living or something along those lines, right? Oh shit, it's recording. So during this specific yagna, he was gifted a specific type of potion. They called this potion payasa. He had some of this payasa and fell in love with it. So he was like, oh my god, I am obsessed with this, and this is the potion that is going to be the one that makes people pregnant. And I want to gift this to my 3 wives. Lucky him, right? So he had 3 potions, or payasas, made for his wife, and he called on the wind god, Lord Vayu. So Lord Vayu shows up, and he flies off to go deliver this baby love potion to his wives, right? But while flying the potions over to his wives, a bird flew by and knocked one of the payasas out of Lord Vayu's hand, right? So Lord Vayu was still able to gift 2 of the payasas to 2 of his wives, and one was just shit out of luck. But the 2 wives that were gifted the payasas only drank half and saved their other halves for the 3rd wife. So they each had a child, and the 3rd wife, who got a sip from both of the payasas, ended up having twins. So this love potion thing kind of did work if you do think about it. So Lord Vayu went back to go and look for the payasa that the bird dropped. And you know who caught it? Anjana. So she said, oh my Shiva, I was gifted this magical potion from the sky. Let me just drink it. So she drinks this payasa, and immediately she felt the power of Lord Shiva within her. So her and Kasari went and got busy and had a little monkey child that they named BAJRANG. Now, of course, this is a half-human, half-monkey child, so you know he was jumping off of walls as soon as he came out of his mom, right? So, one day, after Anjana and Kasari put little BAJRANG down for a nap, Kasari went out, I think, to go and look for, like, some fruit or something like that. Of course, as soon as they leave, guess who wakes up? Little BAJRANG. So like every living being on planet Earth, when he woke up, he was hungry. So he called on his mom and his dad, and nobody was around to answer him, so the only person that was around was the sun. You know how creative kids' minds can get, so he thought the sun was a giant fruit, either like a giant orange or a lemon or something. So he was like, oh my god, yay! His name, BAJRANG, means child with an iron body. Because this was the reincarnation of Shiva, he was also gifted the ability to fly. So from his little crib, he was able to jump out and towards the sun. So as he was on his way over to the sun, Vayu, technically his stepdad, since he was the one who dropped the cup and he was now like, crap, I have to watch over this kid to make sure he survives, noticed BAJRANG running towards the sun. So the day this kid flew over to the sun just so happened to be the day of the eclipse. The sun is Lord Surya, because, you know, in Hindu mythology there is a god for everything. There's a god for wind and there's a god for the sun, which means that there's also a moon god. So the moon god Rohu was on his way for the eclipse, but since BAJRANG was going to go eat the sun and he saw the moon on its way, BAJRANG was able to scare the moon away and cancel the eclipse. And you know, nobody likes to get their stuff taken away from them, especially when they're already on their way, so the moon, or Lord Rohu, was pretty upset. Went to Lord Indra, who is in charge of, you know, like the clouds and the rain and thunder and stuff like that. I was like, yo, Indra, I was supposed to go and block the sun, you know, because the eclipse and all, but I was stopped by a little monkey boy, so yeah, I just thought you should know about that because I wasn't able to fulfill the eclipse. And Lord Indra was like, oh, really? The Lord Indra pulled out one of his favorite weapons, a lightning bolt, and struck this little boy. So, obviously when you get hit by lightning, it's not like, you know, being tickled by little flowers. So when it hit the boy fell from the sky and was knocked unconscious and also broke his jaw. And since the wind god Vayu was in charge of protecting this boy and it was kind of like his stepson, he was super upset. And he said, look, because you guys knocked this boy out, I am gonna stop giving the earth wind. So every living being on earth suffered because you need wind in order to survive. It's almost like water and food. So a long time sort of passed and, you know, creatures were suffering and there was some deaths and everything. So guilty feeling Indra went to Lord Brahma and was like, hey, Brahma, I know you're the creator of life and I don't know if you caught wind of what happened, but I knocked this little boy out with one of my lightning bolts and Vayu is refusing to give the earth wind and lots of creatures are suffering. So can you help me? So Lord Brahma said, Indra, he was a little boy and you decided to knock him out with one of the most powerful weapons that you have. You overdid it and you know you did, so you must go and beg Lord Vayu for forgiveness. And he did. So Brahma and Indra go up to Vayu and, you know, Indra's like, yo, look, dude, I'm so sorry. I repent for what I did to you. I am forever mistaken and I feel horrible. So if you can give us the wind back, I promise I will give this kid special powers. So Lord Brahma was able to bring this kid back to consciousness. So Lord Indra gave him the gift of immortality. Lord Brahma gifted him the ability to never get hurt by anybody's weapon. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. And the sun gifted him the ability to not even be hurt by fire. Ever. So he was pretty protected. And he was then named Lord Hanuman. But it don't stop there. So, because he was still a young boy, he was also known to be kind of an annoying little shit. So there are these people who would practice deep meditation and yoga. They were called rishis. So Hanuman was known to bother these rishis during their meditation, right? And one day he bothered this particular rishi so much to the point where the rishi cursed him. And he said, boy, listen to me. You are going to forget about all the powers that you have until somebody reminds you, because you are so Shiva damn annoying. So lo and behold, that actually humblizes little, you know, Hanuman BAJRANG. and he starts to meditate with this rishi that cursed him for a long time, up until he was basically an adult. So he trained with this rishi for as long as he could, and he went back to his dad, Kasadi, and he said, "Hey Dad, can you teach me the Vedas?" Now the Vedas, kind of like the Ten Commandments, just a way to live, you know, like don't do this, don't do that, live by this way and not by that way. So Kasadi said, "Look, you are my son, but you know I'm just a regular monkey man, so I don't know any of the Vedas. But the one person who can teach you is Lord Surya, the sun." So, again, like he did when he was a child, little Hanuman, or grown BAJRANG, jumped back into the sky and up towards the sun, and there he met Lord Surya. Surya saw him coming and was like, "Oh great, look, it's you again, but you're an adult now. Are you back here to eat me?" So little Hanuman was like, no, I'm not here to eat you. That was when I was young and annoying and stupid. I'm actually here to ask you if you can teach me the Vedas. The son was a little hesitant. He was like, "Look, I travel a lot. I move around super fast. If you're gonna come with me, you better keep up, and I'm not gonna repeat myself more than once." So of course Hanuman was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Okay, I'm down with that. I can fly, I can keep up. You know, I was a hard-headed ass little kid. Ain't nothing new to me." So he followed the sun around, and he was taught the Vedas in about, I think they said 66 days? Something like that. So after the 60 plus days that Hanuman was training with the sun, he was finally able to learn the Vedas and basically can go out on his own, right? But the sun, Lord Surya, said, "Hey, it's now time for you to give Guru Dashina," which is basically saying, "Look, I trained you in the ways that I live by, now it's time for you to give back to me." And so Hanuman was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. What do you need? What is it? I'm glad to serve you, whatever it is." So the sun requested that Hanuman, the new monkey king, would go and protect the sun's son. Oh, what was his name? Sugriva. Or to follow him around and make sure he is forever okay and no harm comes near him. And Hanuman gladly took up that offer and was actually kind of happy and honored to be the person to watch over the sun's son, because that's the sun. So Lord Hanuman flew back to Earth and watched over Lord Surya's son, Sugriva, until Sugriva passed. And from that day on, Hanuman was one of the most praised gods in Hinduism for hundreds, or I think maybe even thousands of years. Pretty much until the story of Lord Ganesha. He's known as the god of strength and knowledge. And one last fun fact about Lord Hanuman: if you practice yoga, the pose Hanuman Asana, or Hanuman pose, is the splits, because he was once going in one direction and he changed his life around and went the completely opposite direction. So the next time you see Lord Hanuman, make sure to say hello.